We have a new build, and we have a lot of lore reveals to talk about this week, and well, good, because otherwise we have kind of a long wait till the next patch, huh? Hey, it's Soul. It's September 22nd, 2017. This is Warcraft Weekly. This is Bob.
It's my new transmog.
Okay.
Hey, you lock it up, girl.
So how was your week, everyone? It was a typical week for me. Lots of raiding. I had a viewer raid on Thursday. We just did like a normal run of Primal Sargerite, and we had a whopping 1 viewer from straight from the stream come in, and the others, well, they just happened to join guild. Yeah, I think they joined guild, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah, I'm sure they wanted to get some of that sweet progression because you guys are so awesome.
Yeah, thanks, Bob. I think that transmog is affecting you, dude.
Nope, not one bit. Peasant.
Well, I hope your week was going well, and if it was, or hell, if it wasn't, just let me know in a comment below, share your story, feel free to vent, do whatever you like. As an update from last week, Eternal Kingdom was able to hit their goal and make $3,025 for hurricane relief. Thumbs up to you guys.
Yeah, I'm sure they have you to, not thank. You know, seeing as how you promoted them, I don't know, 1 day before the event. You got word of it almost a week before. You could have made another video just to bump them. Maybe they would have made $3,026. You suck.
Sorry about that, guys. Anyway, thanks to their efforts, they were able to run over 200 keystones, which is pretty baffling over a 12-hour period. If you want to make your own small contribution and get a little something out of that, you can still buy Shadow, that color-changing, confused fox pet thing, the actual child of light and shadow. Hint, hint. That thing's going for 10 bucks. It's gonna go to hurricane relief, and that's gonna go on until the end of this year. This week's featured YouTuber is Tickle, which sounds kind of perverted, but it's definitely not. It probably is. Tickle is a shaman that focuses mostly on PvP. You'll see him doing 3s in arenas and what have you. As for what kind of shaman he is, well, you take a look. He's obviously a destruction shaman.
Or maybe he's a super mystic mastermind shaman.
Are you talking about City of Villains? Oh, I missed that game so bad. I mean, imagine a mastermind. Okay, don't imagine that. They don't know what we're talking about.
And they're not worthy of our gift of knowledge.
At least lately, he's done a lot of work as an elemental shaman, but he practices enhancement as well. So if you care about elemental shaman that PvP, that's your guy. Take a look.
So how come you don't cover, protection paladins? Is it because your ego will be deflated, knowing that there's so many protection paladins better than you? What about Theet? Theet's a good prop pally, much better than you. Has a channel bigger than yours. He's also beautiful and English.
Check out Theet too. He does protection paladin stuff. Links are below. He's a cool guy. You happy?
Consider me amused.
Your transmog fucking sucks. Anyway, let's talk about holidays for a quick second, okay? Pirates Day just went on this week, and there was a little bit of drama. Apparently, there's a certain toy, a cute little flag thing that you can get on your back, and it's for anyone who achieves the Avasti Admiral achievement. I know I didn't pronounce that very well, did I? I don't do a pirate thing, okay? Don't even talk. I suck at pirate speak, bad accent, very traumatic. Never gonna attempt to do that again. Arr. What that achievement entails is to basically make you hated with Booty Bay or something like that, but you gotta get your rep up with the Bloodsail Buccaneers. Getting it up high enough will get you this achievement, it'll get you cool hats, and for the sake of this holiday, it'll get you this little toy. There were certain bugs about certain NPCs not being able to spawn and everything, but there are a lot of people that kind of took this event as, well, God, I only have 1 day to get this reputation up. This is stupid. I'm not even going to say that word. That's kind of mean. That's just stupid. How could Blizzard create this event that none of us can participate in? Damn them for not including everyone. Now I know that certain vocal players, they're not representative of the entire community. So I'm gonna just kind of talk shit about those particular people. It's like, wow, dude, do you not realize that, there were back in the day, there were certain achievements that were just like a big pain in the ass to get, and you didn't really get anything for it. I mean, you got a hat, whoop-de-doo. But this is before transmog, so you just got the hat that you couldn't really wear into a fight. It's achievements like that, or going for the insane title achievement thing. That's the kind of stuff that takes not just dedication, but like a good level of masochism. Do you hate yourself? Hey, you know what? Go for it. You're at least gonna get a snazzy little flag.
Whoa.
Way to be enthusiastic, douchebot. Meanwhile, Brewfest is going on this week. It's gonna happen for the next couple of weeks, so make sure you participate and, well, get drunk and get nasty. Unfortunately, there's nothing new coming in. I mean, we're gonna get like updated items that drops from Corn Dire Brew, but otherwise that's about it. It's just kind of the same old thing. To be honest, I wouldn't mind if they like changed up some of the weapons, made something a little bit different. It'd be a nice little bit of exclusiveness who got these items like in previous years. You know, that way they can feel like, oh, okay, yeah, I got this way back in the day. And then other people are gonna be like, yo, fuck you, man. I can't get that anymore. Yo, damn Blizzard. And okay, maybe that's not a good idea, but that's my thoughts, okay? So 7.3 has been out for a while. This is the first week where we're getting like nothing new to do, and well, how do you feel so far? For me, I hardly did jack this week, at least regarding like doing like any of the new stuff or doing anything with alts. I hate my alts. I barely do anything with them, and I'm gonna have to kind of wait around for a while. I'd say until November 14th. That's the 11-week mark, you know, between the 7.3 patch and the 7.3.2 patch that's coming out.
Hey, wait a minute. Why is it only a 7.3.2 patch?
Well, I'm gonna get into it, but the 7.3.2 patch, it's basically what the 0.5 patches should be, but I guess it's even smaller. There's gonna be like, you know, no real major updates or anything crazy that's going on with that. I mean, there are certain spoilers that I'm not gonna talk about in this video, but there is, you know, I do talk about some of what's gonna happen in 7.3.2, and I'll provide a link somewhere. But from the looks of it, Bob, it looks like this 7.3.2 patch, this is gonna be the Antorus raid patch.
So can we call it like 7.3.2, just the tip?
You can, yeah. Sure. Anyway, we're still on 7.3, and we're just gonna have a big gulf of nothing. I mean, we might have like kind of precursors that come, you know, kind of like what happened between 7.2.5 and 7.3, where, you know, the weeks upcoming to it, there might be like small little things that are going on. But otherwise, at least on the horizon, we're not seeing anything that might be happening before this patch drops. And that kind of sucks from a pacing standpoint. I mean, 7.2 might not have been as great of a delivery given like the kind of inconsistency of these weekly things that were going on. Now, of course, the Argus campaign was pretty meaty, I admit, you know, much meatier than even like the 12-week campaign of 7.2. I mean, we had a bunch of cutscenes to cover. There's a bunch of character development. Illidan literally shatters prophecy. Velen has one of those not today kinds of moments. So gameplay wise, I guess we're just gonna have to kind of tough it out. Fortunately, there is a healthy bit of repeatable stuff to do. You know, the usual thing. But I would have liked it if it was like somehow tied to reputation, because I think back to the Molten Front, you know, that whole thing back in Cataclysm days. Or I can speak more recently to Mists of Pandaria reputations, because, well, those are definitely my favorite way of how quest content was delivered. It was a pretty simple system where as you rep up, you just unlock more stuff, and it was all tied to reputation. Once you hit a certain reputation, you get a new quest line. It's a short quest line, but it's one that's paced by you, by the player. And then once you do that, okay, cool. Then it's paced by reputation, or otherwise, time gating. Time gating. Ooh, you like that? Time gating. Ooh. Anyway, time gating.
Yeah, we heard enough, dude.
We had the illusion of control when it came to this sort of pacing. I mean, there are drawbacks to it as well. I mean, imagine alts that needed to catch up, and then you needed some sort of catch-up mechanism for your reps and get access to these quests a little bit faster. You know, so I mean, that's why we kind of have stuff released on a timer anyway. Or in this case with 7.3, we just kind of plop everything down, go ahead and knock everything out. So I would have liked it if the reputation, funny enough, if it might have been just a little bit slower, but at the same time, every time we did get access to a new rep, we got more access to stuff. One thing that was paced out a little bit in 7.3 were the ability to unlock some of these new champion missions in our order hall. You might have been wondering, hey, where are all my, you know, armor upgrades for my champions? The way that it seems to have been distributed this time around is that, like, at least each day you had access to one mission that gave you an armor set that bumped your champions item level thing up to 925. Backing that up is a questline to get that sort of access, and once you complete it, you get access to these new missions, which are really nothing. It's pretty much the same thing. You just need a 925 item level to complete them. I mean, the rewards are like slightly higher than they were before, but largely, it ain't much. So it was something. It was, you know, a little thing that they purposefully paced. Purposely paced. Purposely paced. But when it comes down to it, it's all the same. I mean, there's only so much content that Blizzard is able to create, and they can think up all sorts of weird systems to kind of stretch things out, to pace things better, to make it a little bit more digestible for players, but at the same time, we are insatiable. Holla, we consume content at a pretty ridiculous rate, and for those who don't consume it, they can easily look at a website or a YouTube video and just look at how it's been deconstructed, or look at like the endgame cinematics and any of that stuff. If there's something that's well hidden, apparently there's a legion of thousands of players that will all congregate into one little Discord area and just kind of hammer their way through this secret until they really force them, until they force themselves through. And in conclusion, I don't have a conclusion, actually.
Hey, I got this one. Actually, I don't. Just quit.
Hey, don't quit. Jeez. I mean, I think they did kind of time this with the lore dump that we got this week. There we go. That's a transition. So as we wait for 7.3.2 to be released and the new Antorus raid to come out, we have been blessed, or dumped, however you want to think it, with a brand new story that covers the 1,000 years that happened between Alleria and Turalyon. Now, much to say, it's not like they went through all the details that what happened over these 1,000 years, because that's a very long story, but it was released in an audio format that you can check out online, you can download, or you can read the whole damn script yourself. And it's good. It's narrated so well, and this time, instead of just the narrator kind of voicing everyone in, they actually brought in like a voiceover for Alleria, for Turalyon, and Lothraxion, and well, a couple of other characters. But it was fun. When it came out the other day, I just kind of like just sat and I was like, you know, I was like totally enthralled by the whole audio experience. It's a good gap filler because for a while there were a lot of players that were like, was it really 1,000 years that went by? And there were adequate explanations, but at least with this audio, it was pretty well detailed and pretty well explained as to how 1,000 years went by on that side, but only, you know, 20 or so years went by on this side. Now, it's a great audio. Like I said, it's a good gap filler. It's a good way to kind of transition us over to the next chapter in the story of Warcraft, but it still kind of leaves some questions unanswered unless I missed them. It still doesn't quite explain why they didn't try harder to send a message over to the people in Azeroth as to what's going to happen. In the audio, Zira explains that there's no use trying to help Azeroth's defense because there's just no time, because time passes differently over in Legion Land, aka the Twisting Nether, and that the Army of the Light is much better off fighting the Legion in their, you know, 1,000-year-long guerrilla war, you know, to try to delay the invasion of the Legion, which could have happened, according to them, it could have happened much sooner. My thing is still like, you know, you could have sent an email or, you know, sent a message or something like that, because if, you know, if people got a message from frickin' Alleria and Turalyon, who have like their own goddamn statues up in Stormwind, they'd listen. It wouldn't take that long to send a message and be like, hey, what's up? Look at me. I'm still alive, guys. Shit's gonna go down. We're gonna try and do some stuff on our end. Oh, and by the way, do a couple of hundred of you, you know, you guys want to come? And then they'll be like, oh, hell yeah. And then they'll all just like flood in, and then boom, they're gone. If they just kind of went and swooped in and picked up a couple hundred or a couple thousand guys, you know, however many can fit on that ship, cool. And then every now and then, just kind of come back, pick up some more guys and girls, and have a good, well, okay, it won't be a good time, but you know what I mean. It would probably be a little bit easier to fight this war. So I think Zero's kind of a punk ass for, you know, not catering to that sort of plan. And I think Tralyon's kind of a punk for not pushing that a little bit farther and relying too much on his faith. Apparently he swallowed a bit too much of that gold Kool-Aid.
You realize gold Kool-Aid entails, you know.
Oh yeah, it sure does when you cut me off and you emphasize that. Oh, dude. So that's as far as I'll talk about with the story, but I think that the fact that they're delivering something like this and they're trying to fill this up, and well, what do you folks think about something like that, where instead of like actual playing through content and things like that, they're kind of helping us bide our time with giving us these sort of lore dumps. Personally, I'm like, well, I'll take what I can get, you feel me? But I'm sure there are some of you out there who would rather have just more meaty content to do week after week after week, or at least bi-weekly, or some sort of pacing, you know, it just depends on how you feel about it. But I really like this stuff. I totally eat it up. I mean, I would like for everything to be experienced in-game, but at the same time, you can't really get that sort of same experience. And of course, the development time for, you know, someone to just kind of come out and narrate a written story is a heck of a lot shorter than trying to develop all this stuff in like cinematic or something that's playable. I think it's a little bit unfair to insist that everything be experienced in-game when there are so many different ways to enjoy and experience Warcraft. No doubt there are some of you that feel the opposite about that. They're like, I don't want to pay extra money for like a book or something like that to read just so I can get my fill of lore. I should be able to experience everything with the subscription money that I pay, or the gold that I, you know, pay instead. But come on, don't get me wrong. If you don't want to pay for like a novel or anything like that, well, one, this audio thing was free, so we can't really complain about that. And two, if you wanted to experience it anyway, you're probably just going to look at like Wowpedia, or you're gonna download the book on some torrent site, whatever. I'm just talking about the merits of experiencing a story in game through you know, through an audiobook, through a novel, and things like that. I think that's cool, and I definitely back up this play. I just want more, because remember, that's only about like an hour and some change of audio stuff. Now, of course, it covers a lot, and I'm sure that for the next couple of weeks or so, we're going to be talking about this endlessly. Novel's going to have something out if he doesn't have something out already, and there's going to be a lot of speculation and debate as to what's going to happen, especially as we get new builds and things like that. It's kind of like that's the meta, you know, that happens between patches, when we feel that we're done farming the things that we're interested in over the course of a given patch. Then we kind of look at this whole speculation bit, and that's the world of Warcraft that we play. Yay, 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 yay. So 732, there's a build out, there's a thing, there's an image, and a lot of audio that has a lot of the community in a tizzle. Like I said, I'm not going to talk about it here. There is a video that that I probably linked already that talks about what I think and how I feel about it. But as for the build itself, there's just like a teeny little bit of like stuff to take a look at. One is that there will be a Primal Sargerite vendor. Yay, I guess. Funny enough, someone like me who makes a lot of gold making glyphs and doing all that stuff, I didn't find a whole lot of value in this patch, for me at least. I mean, there's a lot of money when it comes to like jewel crafting. And, well, yeah, there's just a lot of money when it comes to jewel crafting. So for me, I wasn't a very big participant in the economy of 7.3. I do at least have the experience to see that this Primal Sargerite vendor will probably jack up the profits of a lot of players, at least in the short run. I mean, you're looking at 1 Primal Sargerite for 10 of like these basic materials, and then you're looking at 10 Primal Sargerite for these epic gems. And in my opinion, that's going to cause a pretty big disruption in the markets, at least on the short term. You're going to see a big spike in the supply of gems, but that's going to be offset by, hey, there's a new raid, new gear, socketed stuff, using gems, bada bing, bada boom, you know? So the markets might not be disrupted all that much, but with little doubt, since all players are going to have access to buying gems somehow, some way, the prices are going to ultimately go down. So my advice, just try to sell them now while you still can. But otherwise, that's pretty much it for this build. I mean, we're seeing some changes to set bonuses, other item changes, and of course some class changes. We're bound to see more of this stuff, so keep an eye out. Of course, I'm going to be covering some of these changes as we go along. Eventually, I'll top that off with a cool little survival guide. So as we're inching closer and closer to the end of this expansion, as well as closer to Blizzcon, which is like in less than 2 months now, there's so much speculation as to what might be going down. Some of the information that's coming out of 732 pretty much insists that there is a lot, well, there's a lot of crappy theories out there, and pretty much all of them are getting debunked. As said, I'm not going to spoil what happens in 732, but looking past that, we are definitely on our way to a return to Azeroth. And now I'm just going to kind of briefly speculate as to what might be going down. I think that there's going to be a very big emphasis on world conflict. The events of 7.3 and 7.3.2, they're going to be I think they're going to have lasting effects on the world, and maybe it won't result in like another cataclysm or something like that. I know that's pretty far-fetched, but I think that the landscape of the world is going to change. We're going to see a fight for control of the world that is on a bigger scale than anything that we've seen. Obviously, there are going to be a lot of factions in play, and they might be fighting for all sorts of different things, even things like food, water, shelter, safety. The fate of Azeroth is going to be at stake, and everyone is probably going to get involved. When it comes to game systems, though, those are things that I gladly, love talking about and, love dreaming about. I did one of those really fake BlizzCon presentations where I talked about, well, what might some of the endgame gearing be like at the end, during the new expansion or future expansions, like whatever. This system is based on kind of the feedback that we've gotten from Titanforged, and as well as pretty much a lot of feedback that we got from Legion. As a really, really brief summary, it's just a way for players to take their unwanted gear and use the Oblivion Forge to upgrade their existing gear. I think that it's a pretty decent idea, an imperfect one of course, one that needs a lot more refining and redesign, but here's what some players thought. Matthew Lawrence says, I love the idea. Vending epics just pains my inner being. This system would make every drop matter in some little way instead of the current system that turns 90% of drops into vendor trash. Maybe call gear upgraded in this manner SoulSoBreezy? Not gonna happen. Tillan Tolan 1029 says, and with a lot of excitement, this will never ever happen, because it would make the game fun and enjoyable. And Blizzard would go insane just by knowing that you, as the paying player, the one making sure they have a fucking paycheck, are having fun or enjoying the game. They would instantly kill the project. Cleam729 says, Blizzard's gonna steal this idea. And you know what? Go ahead. Hans Janmark and a lot of other people basically said this. I like the idea. However, what if you're an enchanter and want to upgrade your gear, but at the same time, you want to do some work on your profession? And Abdullah Amhiri says, simply all upgrades will go to trinkets. If you decide to lower the value of trinkets, then you are destroying one of the few interesting aspects of gearing. Trinkets are interesting and, in some cases, playstyle defining. So these are the things that I love to hear. Challenging questions, things that defy the idea that I'm trying to present. And this is something that, in my opinion, as a non-designer, I think that this is like the foundation of just submitting ideas and trying to present them in such a way that, yeah, go ahead and ask me questions and tell me things that I might not know or that I might not realize. And from that, I'll be able to take this idea and make it better. I have to admit that even for me, someone who tries to be like relatively balanced, it does get irritating when I see ideas being presented and then I see people just shut it down because they think of something. It's like the whole enchanting thing. It's like, oh, well, why would you do it? Why would you have a system like this that like screws over the enchanters? And from that, people will have the mindset of, okay, here's why I think it's a bad idea, so let's shut it down. Instead, and this is how design is supposed to work, you take one of these ideas, such as, what do you do about enchanters, and then you move forward with it. Okay, cool, what are we going to do for enchanters? You take all these things into account when you're trying to design a new system or something like that. Heck, this is something that you take, like, anywhere in life. Because if you keep shutting down these ideas, then you just don't go anywhere. You stagnate. You rot. Abdullah and I, we actually had multiple comments in this thread, and it ended amicably. He said, hey, you know what? I'm going to paraphrase. He said, thank you. You're very clearly passionate about this game, and I'm looking forward to seeing some of your other ideas. And that's a huge thing for me. I like hearing stuff like that. It's good to know that there are people who are willing to debate ideas without taking it too personally, without attacking the person. And that's all I want to do with all of these, with all the different things and different directions that I go on this channel. All I want is for WoW to just be a better game. I want a place for people to talk and hold conversations without talking shit or, descending into like meme territory, which is a pretty easy thing to do these days. Call me old-fashioned or a fanboy or a Blizzard shill. Doesn't matter to me. I'm just going to take all of that in and move forward. And that pretty much wraps up the weekly. Thank you for watching, and I would love your support through your likes and subscriptions, or heck, even if you wanted to, become a patron. Small contributions of even like $1 are a huge help to this channel. It keeps the lights on, the dog fed, gas in the car, that sort of thing. But you can help me thrive in other ways too, including by submitting your story. I launched a second episode of Tales from the Crossroads, and well, in my opinion, it was pretty successful. Much, not better than the first, but I think the delivery is getting better. But this series, even though I love doing it so much, it absolutely relies on you. Tell me your story, and I will immortalize it in my dumb voice. Or just keep watching. Stay caught up with the latest news, check out my opinions on design, or celebrate the world of Warcraft with me. In whatever weird way that I do it. So thanks again, everyone. I love doing what I'm doing, and I don't want to stop. I'll look forward to seeing you next week for some cool stuff. So you all have a good one, stay safe, stay happy, and stay breezy.